Doc, I'm from the future. I came here in a time machine that you invented. Now I need your help to get back to the year 1985.
This is Back to the Futures, Week 5, a portfolio-based future bet show for the NFL featuring Tim Andergast versus Geoff Fienberg, building their portfolios every single week. We'll see who is up the most units by the end of the year. I am your host, Michael J. Fox. Geoff Fienberg, how are you?
I am doing well, Pat. Always enjoy scouring the future market on a weekly basis. Although, I'll tell you, sometimes it's demoralizing because it makes you feel really dumb about some of your previous summer positions.
Yeah, but you have to get, if you want to be able to hit futures in the future, you need to be able to escape some of the positions that you were at earlier on in the season. You need to, as Tim always says, adjust your stance when new information presents itself.
I agree, but those positions are in and they're losing positions now. So you see what you have, you see their current numbers, you see how wrong you evaluated them in August, and you're like, oh man, now I got to stare at that all season. You just graded as a loss already. Will you please, Sportsbook?
That's always the worst. When you have the pending, I have a Russell Wilson MVP future. It just stares at me every time I log
Sunday,
in.
You just got to look at it.
I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Like, what was I thinking? Why did I think this? Like, it's just horrible news. Tim, you are going to be up first this week for the Futures bet. Are you a future person? Are you going to hit a winner?
I think the future I gave it last week is very prone to hit, but I'm going to give another future this week.
Okay, that's good.
And it's sort of built. Yeah, very good. It sort of builds off of an argument that I was trying to construct on Sunday Night Live, which is the Jets are going to the playoffs. We are plus 850 to go to the playoffs. We are taking them plus 850 to go to the playoffs. That schedule is very soft. The AFC is clearly not as strong. People thought it was. This is a hinge game against the Miami Dolphins. If we win this week, we will be probably plus 450 to make the playoffs. And then if we win the next week against the Packers, who are probably a Ponzi scheme, and we probably can, then we'll be like plus 200 to make the playoffs. And like the value is there right now. There is time, there's room. Plus 850 is still really long odds. This Jets team has the potential to be a very special team in the regular season. Back the Jets at plus 850 to make the playoffs. I really, really, really like their opportunity here.
Aren't you worried that Zach Wilson is distracted now that Gisele is on the market?
As you said on the other show, that perhaps Gisele is not the right age. I don't know.
I know this kind of sounds crazy. Actually, Geoff, I don't want to wait until you make your pick, but in that same market, I have some thoughts. Put it that way.
Yeah, so I've stared at that market a bit.
You like the Jets pick, though, right?
No.
I am going to play, which is probably... I'm taking a lot of risk with this one for not getting much payback, but I've seen enough to make a move here. I'm laying the chalk at plus 160. I know there's the injury risk, but Saquon Barkley, comeback player of the year. To me, this thing is over. As long as he doesn't have a season-ending injury and he can play 13 games, he is going to win. Now, I look at this and you're like, plus 160, there's still so much time. The guy who is second place on the board has never played an NFL game before and was shot.
You need to be sweating that real hard, because if he's good, you're absolutely screwed. Brian Robinson, 6-1.
Saquon is...
It doesn't matter. He got shot twice right before week 1 started.
Saquon has like been dead to football people, and he plays in New York, and he's already being anointed again.
Jeff's just out here trying to hit 7-iron after 7-iron. This one, he's trying to hit a high draw 7-iron rather than me, who's just taking rips off the tee box every time. Like, I don't know what strategy Geoff is employing here. He's playing super safe. This is a risky safe one. I don't know. I guess I'm glad to see you make the pick. I really like my portfolio. They're not all winners, that's for sure. But the last two, I think, are probably going to happen for sure.
For
Looking
sure.
really good.
That the Eagles are going to be 11-0 before we know it.
I'm looking. Look, that I feel great about. That Eagles Packers. That will be such a crowning game.
What happens when the Eagles beat the Packers?
That'll be sad, but I don't think they're going to.
There's not enough people in the comeback player of the year market who the public.
Who else is there?
Who
else is there?
It's Barkley, Brian Robinson, Derrick Henry, McCaffrey. I just don't think that Henry.
James Robinson. No one would vote for James Robinson, even if he deserved it more than Saquon. No one would vote for him. Derrick Henry shouldn't even be allowed on this list. He played 80% of last year and then played in the playoffs. What comeback? He can't win. That's dead. That's a dead vote. So I'm taking on McCaffrey, who's in a lame duck dead situation. They're the only team in football that hasn't had a single 300-yard game. And the guy who is T2 on the tout, I don't even think most people know who he is.
I actually in the futures portfolio, I just wouldn't take any plus 160s. I'd be trying to shoot my shot, but that one pick might be enough to beat Tim by the end of it.
Well, I hope I can do better, but I just don't care for anyone else in the market. Not at all.
That the only thing you need to sweat is if somehow Odell signs with the team in 3 days and is awesome for the rest of the year.
Yeah, he's got to play. Okay, yeah. If
that,
Odell plays by week
1.
10, he can win the award.
Yeah, but that's unlikely. So, yeah. How is Jordan Love a comeback player?
I have no idea. Was he coming back from?
Being terrible?
But again,
not playing?
The thing about this award is it injury? Does it suck? Is it just the perception of expectation?
It is pure perception. DeAndre Hopkins is on this list. He's not playing. He's got busted for steroids.
Yeah, he's not winning. Yeah, he's not winning this award.
The one I wanted to look at in that futures playoff market was Seahawks plus 15 to 1 to make the playoffs. I just think it's going to be easier in the NFC. Listen, obviously, I don't think that they make the playoffs, but they have a very good offense. And if the Rams don't end up making the playoffs, I don't think the Cardinals are going to make the playoffs. I think you start ticking off teams pretty quickly. Let's just give playoff spots to Philly, Dallas, Minnesota, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and San Francisco. Then you have one spot left for someone else. And then it's between Atlanta, Carolina, the Rams, Cardinals, and Seahawks. All the Seahawks would theoretically have to do is just beat up on the Rams and Cardinals in those games. And they're probably in the playoffs.
I don't see it.
I don't like it. Now, 15 to 1 are very fair odds for that. I still think it's quite unlikely, but it's not the worst 15 to 1 bet.
No, but I think Atlanta would get that spot, which I hope so, because I actually have money on that at 9 to 1 to begin the year. But if you told me it was Seattle and not Atlanta, sure, that makes sense.
Seattle, I'll say this about Seattle, and it's great and it's fun to see what they're doing. They're going to pull a Buffalo Bills here, Pat. Remember forever the Bills were horrible, but they were never bad enough. Some loser, a Ryan Fitzpatrick, would go get them wins, and instead of drafting 4th, they'd be drafting 14th, and they'd never be able to execute the plan. They finally got Josh Allen. The plan was executed. But, Houston just sucks, and they're losing. And the quarterback class this year is amazing, and it's perfect. And Seattle's got 2 picks also, and they're winning. And they're not supposed to be good, and they're going to regret their 7 wins and just missing the playoffs.
Absolutely. But if you think that they can get to 7 wins, 15 to 1 to make the playoffs is a good bet. I'm sorry.
Okay, fine. Maybe I overreached on 7, and you are right.
But what about those Jets?
Summer. There's a playoff spot for a jabroni in the NFC. Totally, there's a race to be the top, or even 2 jabronis. Yeah. But I'm not there with you, but you're getting paid out at 15 to 1. So, hey.
Yeah. Anyway, that will do it on Back to the Futures, the Portfolio Future NFL Bet Show on thehammer.bet. Highly recommend that you sub, and go to thehammer.bet for all your sports betting needs. For Tim, Jeff, I'm Pat Mayo. We'll see you next week.